The national champion is clad in big orange.
The pitch. Swing and a miss. That's the ball game. The national champion is clad in big orange.
Pat Summitt and Destiny have met 7 times before. Tonight is number 8.
Tennessee Volunteers have wrapped up an SEC outright regular season title. Connect with
the SEC runs through Rocky Top. Tennessee wins the SEC regular season crown for the 2nd consecutive season.
the 1-0. In the air, left center field. Ross on the move. Ross get there. Tennessee walks it off. It's a mismatch. Deep range. Come on now. And don't connect. Probably trying this time. Indeed. New hand there. Down the middle. Got it. On the fly. It's high and again. And he's going to take it. Touchdown, Tennessee.
Hey, how much fun is this?
Man, Rocky Top, this is college football and it's got to be back.
Yes, sir. This is college athletics at its absolute best. And I can say that because, man, what a weekend of winning as our sports teams combine to go 8-1. I am your host, Skylar. This is my co-host, Michael. Michael, how are we doing on a fantabulous Sunday afternoon? Championship Sunday, might I add.
Man, doing great. It's great to be a Tennessee Vol. You mentioned it. A lot of dubs on the board this weekend, not to mention what happened in the midweek with softball and baseball as well. You add that in, it's a 10-1 week for the Vols. Man, it's no better time to be a Tennessee fan. And, you know, we got Tennessee Football 247. A shout out to him, by the way. He's always the first one to comment on the video.
Every video.
Yeah, I think he's here as soon as I post the live link. And he said, I said it's sad to be a Tennessee Vol after Tennessee got beat today, but it's not over yet. Can't wait for March. Go Vols.
I disagree. I mean, it sucks to lose, but I'm not sad at all of the effort that the team put in the tournament. We talked about it last week, kind of what our expectations were, and I'm like, man, just look like you wanted to be there. A lot of these teams go into the SEC tournament and think that it's not really worth anything, and they don't really play hard. And I felt like the team really played hard to the best of their ability. You got to runner up against a really red hot Florida team. We're going to talk all about it, but we've got several segments to talk about, including our big segment today, because the bracket is coming out in T-minus 56 minutes, and we'll be filling that thing out. But, Micah, you want to give us a quick rundown, and then I'll give the presenting show sponsor.
Yeah, so quick rundown of today's show. Segment 1, we're going to talk all about the run that the Vols made in the SEC tournament this weekend. Then it's segment 2. We're going to talk some Tennessee baseball and Tennessee softball, both of which got series sweeps this weekend. Big weekend for the spring sports. And then Skylar mentioned it already. Segment 3, we are going to be filling out our NCAA tournament brackets, the men's only, as the women's won't drop until later tonight. But also, while I'm talking about that, check the link in the description of the video.
That's right.
It should be on Facebook, YouTube, all of that. You can join the Vol Fanatics Tournament group. That's the name of the group on the ESPN Tournament Challenge. You can either download the app on the App Store or on Google Play if you're on Android, or if you're on a computer, you go to fantasy.espn and look for ESPN Tournament Challenge, and you can join our group, fill out a bracket, and just see how you compare it to our picks. As I guarantee ours won't be good. Hopefully yours are better. So,
I mean, you need a good bracket. You've been losing a whole lot this year in our friendly little competitions. So
yeah, you had to bring that one up.
I did. I cannot wait to go golfing, my guy. Yeah,
yeah, I hear you, man.
No, man. Well, without further ado, then I guess I'll give our presenting show sponsor. It is Chris Smith Insurance. You know, as a homeowner, Chris was once let down by an insurance company, so he started his own agency where instead of feeling like a big company is fighting against you, you'll know that your agent is fighting for you. All insurance is not equal. Trust the Chris Smith Insurance right here in Oak Ridge, Tennessee. today. Give them a call at 865-272-3387. Again, that is 865-272-3387. Chris is that agent that is not only going to find you the best rates, but also the best coverage. A lot of people think that cheaper is better, but in reality, when that disaster strikes and you realize that you're not fully covered, that's not what anybody wants. Chris is going to make sure that doesn't happen. He's going to be there at your doorstep to help you through every step of the way. Thank you so much, Chris, for your continued support, my man. We really do appreciate it. You kind of help this show run, dude. No, serious. All right. We've got 3 segments. You've hinted on it. I think we got to start basketball here with the week that we had out in Nashville, Tennessee, Music City. But before we do that, you want to let us know who our segment 1 sponsor is, Michael?
Yeah, before I give our segment 1 sponsor, I do want to give a shout out. This is from both of us. Lady Raiders basketball.
Yes.
Final Four this past week and fell just short of a championship game appearance. But
man, they
fantastic.
played hard, dude.
They sure did. They really did. It was one of those. It was one of those things where they were playing really well in the game and then just went on a bit of a scoring drought in the fourth quarter.
Yeah,
and couldn't make it up. But
shout out to Raider Nation, dude. They showed out. I mean, half that arena was packed. I mean, that was I was watching actually one of the post game interviews with Coach Hall and 2 of the players, and they alluded to how much of the arena was orange. I mean, no doubt about it. The entire city of Linville, Tennessee, I felt like was there. Showing support for those ladies who really did deserve it. I think that was the first tournament win, dude, and I don't even know how long.
It's been. I think I saw 33 years, 37 years, something like that. It's been a long time
since Chad Hall was playing. No, I'm joking. I don't know. I don't want to age him, but I mean, it's been a long time since they've been there in that environment, and I really felt like they belonged. I mean, they showed out. They beat I can't remember who, but it was from southeast corner of Tennessee. Copper Mason, thank you. I was I know where it was, couldn't remember the name, but they had some big girls and they were able to still stick it to the boards. But yeah, man, congrats to Lady Raiders, congrats to Raider Nation, and what a joy it was to watch them play and play their heart out for the team, for the school, for themselves. So,
yep, absolutely. But getting into some Tennessee basketball now, I will give you our segment 1 sponsor, which is Optimal Asbestos Services. Optimal Asbestos Services offers detailed asbestos inspections and air quality assessments. Whether you're looking to secure your home or workplace, you could trust Optimal Asbestos Services to deliver thorough and reliable solutions. You can contact Jeff Mull at 865-223-3297 for your consultation today, or you can go on the web at optimalasbestosservices.com. So Tennessee basketball, man, big week from them. This past week in the tournament started off playing a surprise opponent. I fully expected to play Texas A&M on Friday, and Texas just said, "Hold my beer, let me show you who little brother is." So
yeah, I mean, I was surprised when they beat Vanderbilt, and then to come out, turn around, beat A&M the way they did, man. Hats off to Texas. I think they've done everything they possibly could have hoped to do to get in the field. At this point, I think it's absurd if they don't get in, because I think right now Joe Lunardi had them as the last team out, or the first team out, however that's first team out, however that's worded. But man, you look at the resume, their quadwood wins. They played a tough schedule, but that's everybody in the SEC. And so Texas, man, they made a little bit of a run. Like I said, beating Vanderbilt, beating Texas A&M, coming out and honestly giving the Vols everything they wanted, especially in the first half. Man, it was only a 3-point lead for the Vols. Chaz Lanier was as hot as you could be in the first half. I think that was much needed. Zakai Ziegler, on the contrary, as hot as you could be in the second half, which was much needed because Chaz Lanier went stone cold in the second half. At the end of the day, this game ends up being a 11-point victory thanks to Texas fouling at the very end of it. Realistically, it was a 9-point victory, but overall, we got a good win. A game where it was your first game in the arena. It was Texas's third. I think you were able to capitalize on that a little bit. Settled into the game very nicely in the second half. Kind of made it the way, the game that you wanted. But overall, man, I loved what I seen. I wish I'd have seen a little bit more of a gap, but maybe that's just me asking too much out of an SEC game. There was chances in this game Tennessee could have got up by 15-16. But Texas, man, you got to give them credit. They came right back into the game and really fought to the very end.
But look, that goes to show you just how deep this conference is. When a team that finished, I believe they were 13th, somewhere around there going into this conference tournament. I can't remember for certain, but they go and they give you everything that you really want in that game, more than you really asked for, because you're wanting an easy victory, just kind of go on to the semifinals. And they just weren't going to let you have that easy path there. And Texas has played and beaten some good opponents this year. I mean, just to name a couple of top 25 opponents that they beat this year, they beat Kentucky. They also beat Ole Miss, I believe. And I believe they also beat I know they beat Texas A&M back earlier and, beat them again here in the tournament.
Yeah, they did finish 14th place in the standings.
14th. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, when the 14th place team going into the tournament makes it to the quarterfinals and gives you all that you want in this game, it's a deep conference.
Yeah.
And I mean, Texas is a really good team that, me personally, I think deserves a better coach. Not trying to take anything away from Rodney Terry, but he's
you gonna go at Rick Barnes' guy like that? Come on.
I feel like he just hadn't gotten Texas to their potential. They got a talented freshman in Trey Johnson, which a big shout out to Jemai Meshack, by the way, for just completely shutting him down in this game.
I was going to say the defensive game plan around that kid right there was as good as you could ask for. I mean, he still hit some insane shots where he was completely guarded, and that's just good on good. But yeah, I mean, you got to credit to. I mean, you got a kid that's averaging 21 points in the league, and he got 11 points in this game.
He only attempted 8 shots as well. He was 3 of 8 from the field, 4 of 4 from the free throw line. But, man, every single one of those 8 shots that he took were contested. And all 3 of them that he made, it was a hand in the face. And on one of those 3-pointers, it was Meshack and I believe Akpara both back-to-back, flew by him with a hand in the face as he's shooting it. He just knocked it down. I mean, that's a fantastic player. He's probably going to be a lottery pick in this year's NBA draft.
Yep. But to continue your shout out though, and I hate that I didn't even reference it, but this was probably MVP of the game, Jemai Meshack. Defensively, what he was able to do offensively, and then also on the boards, a lot of his points where he was getting the rebound and putting it right back up. I mean, a Jemai Meshack, a 3, a guy that you really you wouldn't think would be in the in even the hunt for rebounds or putbacks, but man, he fought hard. The way he handled Trey Johnson, the way that they were able to prevent the switch ups that they were trying to get. Man, that speaks volumes. I think even Rick Barnes in the post game literally said MVP of the game without a doubt was Jemai Meshack.
Yeah, I mean, to your point, his offensive stat line in this game, 13 points, 3 of 7 from the field, 0 of 1 from the 3-point line, 7 of 8 from the free throw line, 7 rebounds. Yeah, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, only 1 foul, 1 turnover in 35 minutes of play.
I mean, what more could you ask for?
Yeah, there's no telling what his plus minus was in this game. I guarantee you it was probably plus 15 in his favor. I mean, him on the court really helped out Tennessee in this game. But you mentioned it. I mean, Chaz Lanier, he was hot in that first half. I mean, what do you have, 20 points at halftime, 18 points at halftime.
And he was 11 of 11. I mean, that's exaggerated, but I mean, it felt like the kid was just making everything.
So he had 19 points at the half, 8 of 11 from the field.
8 of 11. Okay. Yeah, I mean, he was making everything. But you got to credit to Texas, man. They did not fold. You could tell they were banged up. They were kind of dealing with some injuries in the middle of this game, but Weaver was kind of a scrappy dude that I felt like kind of gave us some fits, but again, credit to Tennessee, man. They handled the pressure. They were able to get a good win to help build some momentum going into the game against, we already knew was Auburn. So,
yeah, absolutely. Just running down the stat sheet here, Tennessee, they finally out-rebounded somebody. Down the stretch, the last 4 or 5 games, even though they won a couple, they still got out-rebounded in those games. In this game, they finally out-rebounded their opponents as they out-rebounded Texas 32-27, 15-12 on the offensive glass. That resulted in 18 second-chance points. Those were huge for Tennessee in this game. Really just did all that you needed to in this game to move on to the semifinals.
Zakai Ziegler got to be better in free throws. I will say that. If I had to pick one thing from this game that I wish we would do better, free throws. Free throws. I mean, as a team, we shot 68%. That number really needs to be above 70, 75%. And Zakai Ziegler, 6 of
And
11.
and Chaz Lanier, 3 of 6.
Yeah, both of them. Yeah, exactly right. Chaz Lanier, 3 of 6. I mean, you're 2 guards, man. You got to be 80%. You have to be 80% from your guards. You expect your misses to come from your big guys at the stripe, not from your guards. So we got to clean that up, and we did, I think, do that against Auburn in a big way.
Yeah. And so last thing I did not realize this until just now, but luckily it did not matter. Tennessee, the last 4 minutes and 49 seconds of the game, 0 field goals. It was just free throws in the final.
Well, and to
almost
be fair,
5
they
minutes
were
of the
getting
game.
fouled a lot, but yes, you can't go
yes.
4 minutes plus without a field goal. But Texas was, I think, kind of getting to that desperation mode where they were just playing a little physical. And then also at the end of the game, they were absolutely just kind of fouling to try to prolong the inevitable, and that was Tennessee moving on to the semis.
Yeah, I mean, luckily, I mean, the current trends that it has on here on this, I use Stat Broadcast to get all my stats. The 2 trends, Tennessee, no field goals in the last 449, but Texas, only 1 of the last 7 from the field. So it really balanced itself out there, but you mentioned you can't go on a big stretch like that without getting a field goal.
100%. You got anything else to wrap up this game 1 in the SEC tournament?
No, man, let's go ahead and move on to the big semifinal win against Auburn. As Tennessee, you see it there, 70-65, they get the win over Auburn. And this was a game. I think I told you last week. I said I'm glad that we got the Auburn side of the bracket because I felt like we matched up well against Auburn in Auburn back earlier this year. It was just a great shot from the corner that Auburn hit in a game where really shots were not falling. And Tennessee came out in this game and they fought hard. They did have a big lead that they squandered at one point. Auburn took a lead and Tennessee fought back. And ultimately, you ended up getting a win with a big night from Ziegler, a huge night from Jordan Gainey, and then Zakai Ziegler chipping in, Chaz Lanier chipping in where he needed to as well.
This one felt good.
It sure did.
This one felt good, especially after Auburn singing Rocky Top a week ago after we helped them clinch the first place in the regular season. This one felt good to come back, beat Bruce Pearl right after a post-game interview that went viral for what he said about his guards. And I will not re-say what he said, but I encourage you to look it up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. This one felt good. Now, did it stressed me the crap out, but dude, I'm a Vol fan. I'm used to it. When you got a 12-point lead with like 4 minutes left to go, don't give it up. Put on more steam. I did not like seeing that, but credit to the fellas for pulling away in the end. This was a great all-around game. Zakai Ziegler, I mean, what more could you ask? I mean, he was going one-on-one with Jahmai Broome and winning. I mean, Janai, you see in the replay, Jahmai Broome literally saying, I can guard you. Basically, you ain't crap. I got you. And then he just goes right around him, scores what could have been, should have been, and won. But I mean, just everything about this just felt so good. I talked all season about Auburn attitude on the court is what makes me really strongly dislike them. They almost seem like they're entitled. Their facial expressions when they hit a generic, like ordinary shot, like Jahmai Broome, like get it. He's one of the best players. I'm not taking anything away from him, but he hits a simple hook shot in the post or something, and he like hits you with the too small. Like, bro, that's basketball. You're supposed to be able to do that. Like, I don't understand. It's hard to like this team, which is why it feels so good to beat this team and go on to the championship game. One, I think it really helped improve Tennessee's resume as far as I don't think the 1 seed's a play here, but maybe that very first team on the 2 seed line, which is huge. That would keep you out of the bracket with Florida or Auburn, in my opinion. You would probably be in the bracket with Duke and Houston, and I think that's what you want, in my opinion. I think that's exactly what you want. And so this game overall, Jordan Gainey, man, you talk about being a 6th man. Just coming out there, getting a 15-point, 5-rebound day. Zakai Ziegler, though, the block on the 3-point line, it probably wasn't a huge play, but to me, man, that felt like the turning point in the entire game.
I agree with you. And, you brought up Jordan Gainey there. Didn't have the best of first halves. He was only 1 of 5 from the field, only 2 points at halftime, 0 of 3 from the 3-point line. In the second half, I mean, he went to work, not necessarily from the field as he was Yeah, he was still only 2 of 3 from the field, but 8 of 8 from the free throw line. And you got down on Tennessee that game against Texas, and rightfully so. You can't go 68% from the free throw line and expect to win games. How about a total of 25 of 27 from the free throw line?
That's what you got to have.
92.6%. And in the second half, you went 18 of 20.
And you want to know how he got to the free throw line, though. This is where I don't want to discredit it, because he was the one that was putting his head down, shoulder down, getting to the basket and forcing those calls. And it was a guaranteed 2 point. I mean, he was feeling it at the line, and I love the way they attacked that. I think they even fouled out. Who was it? Miles Kelly?
So Miles Kelly fouled out. He had 4 and also got a technical. That's what fouled him out.
Yeah. So I mean, that was huge, though. I mean, that's one of your starters of Auburn. One of their best shooters on the team too. So like, it was that attitude though. Like it's a game within the game, and Florida did it to us really well today. We'll talk about it, but in a very physical, tough game, what's the goal? It's fouls. Get fouls. Get to the basket, especially when the 3-point shot isn't falling as much as you'd like it to. I mean, 5 of 19 from the field, 26%. That's subpar. I mean, you like that number to be above 30% for sure. But, overall, Jordan Gainey's game plan, even today, man, we'll talk about it. But his ability to score in the mid-range, like Dalton Connect, I will literally compare him in the mid-range to Dalton Connect. That dude's hops and the way he can shoot over anybody. Jordan Gainey, man, I feel like that's been a very underappreciated aspect of his game this season. And the fact that he can either do that or go to the rim, man, I love to see it. And I love the fact that he was actually announced all-tournament team, Jordan Gainey. So that just goes to show his skill, though.
Yeah, and I wonder if Rick Barnes and really his dad, Justin Gainey, finally said, look, your strength is that pull-up mid-range jumper and then getting to the rim. If you hit threes, that's a bonus for us.
Yeah,
but
he's not the sharpest three-point shooter, but when you are as good as he's at getting to the rim, you don't have to be.
Yeah, and you notice, he hasn't forced as many threes lately. Now, if he's got a 3, he's going to take it.
Sure.
And he hits, I'll say about 30%, maybe 35% whenever he's open. But you feel really good about him whenever he's pulling up from that 15-foot mark, whenever he's getting to the rim.
It's almost automatic.
Fouled. Yeah. I feel like his game has really taken a step forward coming into conference play because we've seen him doing more of his strength than just trying to force something from deep.
Absolutely. I mean, I would say his 3-point shooting is very complimentary to Igor. I feel like Igor maybe a little bit better from 3, but overall kind of like a bigger guy that you don't really expect to shoot threes, but it's always a bonus when they hit him. But yeah, man, the way his aggressive physical gameplay for a guy that's kind of smaller. So I mean, he's got to. Same with Zakai. I mean, you got to make up for it and some hustle and some physicality. Man, I feel like these two dudes this week have really shown out and game played it or game planned and executed and it showed. I think they got the appreciation that they deserve this week. So
yeah, you brought up Igor. The first of 2 games, is we'll talk about the second one where he's pretty much a non-factor because of being in foul trouble the whole game. He started off hot in this game. I mean, he had 7 pretty quick points, but then got into foul trouble. He only played 16 minutes of the game. But to kind of flip it around, a big shout out to Darlington Dubar stepping up. He played 15 minutes in the game. Got 6 big buckets, 2 of 3 from the field, 2 of 2 from the free throw line, and 3 rebounds. Played pretty good defense as well. Glad to see him being able to step up and fill that spot whenever you see somebody like Milicic getting foul trouble. And then, Cade Phillips didn't have a lot of points, only had 4 points, but, he really stepped up and played a good game as well. But, just looking at the stat sheet here, the bench points to me is what really set Tennessee apart in this game, as they outscored Auburn 25-3 in bench points. And when you can hold a team like Auburn that relies on some of those guys off the bench, like Tahad Pettiford, for instance, coming off the bench, 0 points in this contest. He 0 of 8 from the field.
Yeah, 0 of 5 from 3, man. It almost looked like he was just trying to force it too much.
Yeah, and then Chaney Johnson, who I feel like has been there absolutely forever. They rely on him not to score a ton, but any points that he gets is a bonus, and he only had 3 points. He was 1 of 1 from the 3-point line. Really kind of a non-factor in this game. You knew Janai Broome was going to get his. You held Chad Baker-Mazara to only 9 points in this
I
game.
think that was clutch as well. I think that was clutch. But to be fair, I think Auburn relied too heavily on Janai Broome. And so
I think that's what Tennessee was trying to do in this game as well. They were like, okay, we know Broome is going to get his. Let's just make sure that nobody else goes out there and beats us. And you mentioned it earlier, Miles Kelly, when he fouled out, that was huge because that was the other guy that they were really relying on. He hit 3 threes in the contest.
But late in the game, when they're relying on Janai Broome, you've seen us swap our defensive game plan to where we doubled him every time he touched the ball, forced other folks to hit the shot. And, credit to Auburn, they hit a couple and got right back in the game. But right when it mattered at the very end of the game, man, you could tell it got to him. And I think you got to credit Rick Barnes on that. You played that entire game not doubling Janai Broome so that at the end of the game, when they thought they had that easy guaranteed bucket, you took it away by switching up your game plan right there at the end in the final, 2 or 3 minutes. I think that was very, very clutch. What a big win for Tennessee to get at the championship game. By the way, did you know, fun fact, this at this point marked Rick Barnes's 4th championship game appearance in the tournament in 9 tries.
Yes.
That's solid work.
Yeah, that he's only come away with one of those victories, but hey, the fact that Tennessee, I forget the exact stat. I think today was their 15th all-time SEC championship appearance in the SEC tournament, and Rick Barnes has 4 of those in 9 seasons. That's unbelievable. Anybody that is still a Rick Barnes hater,
There'll always be those.
I mean, there will be, but I mean, you're not going to get any better, man. What Rick Barnes has done here, has he gone out and won an NCAA championship? No, but I challenge you.
But he's doing it, and he's doing it at what I would consider is not a blue blood in basketball.
Exactly.
I mean, he's not at Duke. He's not at Kentucky. He's not at Kansas, Arizona, any of those schools.
Exactly.
And he's still putting up results very much equivalent, if not better than a lot of those schools.
Yeah. I mean, so Bruce Pearl started the Tennessee on the map as a basketball school.
Right.
Had a little bit of a lull there when it went to Quanzo Martin and oh shoot, I can't remember his name now. Donnie Tyndall. Had a little bit of a lull right there. But then when Rick Barnes came in, it took him a season or two. But since then, he has had Tennessee at the top of the SEC year in and year out. And whoever comes after Rick Barnes, they've got some big shoes to fill to be able to keep Tennessee at the level that they are at right now.
Yeah, the Grant Williams, Admiral Schofield era, from the moment they got on campus to the moment they were gone. I mean, that really is what drove this machine of a Tennessee team that has been ranked consecutively, 2 seasons now, 3 seasons?
Yeah, and I think this season, the only time they were outside the top 10 was like the first 2 weeks of the season.
I'm just talking about, I mean, that's insane to be in top 10 that entire time. They're one for like a month straight because of the way they were, they were undefeated in the non-con. But, that it's just, I don't know what more you can ask. Now, I will say this. I guess you can ask for a Final Four. And I feel like you're about to be put in a really good spot to get it done. We'll see.
I agree. Let's move ahead to today's championship game against Florida, where unfortunately you do get beat by the Gators. But I said back earlier this year that Tennessee's Achilles heel this year was going to be going up against a team that had better bigs than them.
Just bigger, period.
Just bigger in general. And, Florida has a plethora of bigs on this team. I mean, they mentioned on the broadcast today, it was like every time that Florida took 1 or 2 of their bigs out, they would replace them with 2. And it's just like, how many big guys does this team have?
Look, certified Gator hater here. But let me take off the orange glasses and say this is why Gators should be the number 1 overall seed. Not only do they have the bigs, those bigs get up and down the floor just as good as a guard does. Their transition offense to defense is insane. The fact that they can do it, they do it so consistently. Tennessee's one of the best defensive teams in the country, if not the best. And Florida dang near put up 90 on us. And honestly, they didn't shoot the ball any better than us. A little bit better on the 3-point line, I guess. They took 1 extra shot and made 1 extra shot. Field goal percentage, though, is 42 to 44%. We outshot them at a better clip. But look at how many field goals they were able to get because of the boards. The glass is what hurt us. Transitions what hurt us. overall, man, Tennessee, I think, played the offensive game plan to win this game. But, man, that you just can't get bullied on the boards and in transition the way they did and expect to come out with a win. I think wholeheartedly, I was impressed by the resiliency of this team. We went down 14, 15 points several times and kept fighting our way back, clawing our way back. But overall, I mean, I'm not even mad at this outcome.
No.
I wish I could be. But it's one of those things where not to discredit the team at all, but I kind of went into this game kind of knowing that, man, we're probably not going to win this as much as I want to. Florida's hot, and the chances of us going from Auburn to Florida and going 2-0 back to back like that, man, that's tough. That's tough to do.
Yeah.
So, but I was very much pleased with our effort. We fought through and through, and my God, Jordan Gainey, have a day.
Yeah, look, I was really hoping that we'd be playing Alabama today instead of Florida.
Me
because
too.
We match up.
I bet on it.
we match up so much better with Alabama than Florida. As soon as I saw Florida, and they dominated. They dominated.
They
Alabama
mollywopped
yesterday.
Alabama, dude. It wasn't even close.
Yeah, so as soon as I saw that, I said, I hope Tennessee wins, but ultimately, I think we're playing for second place here because we just don't match up well with Florida. And Eric, appreciate you tuning in here. I give all the credit in the world to Florida in this game. Florida's got a really good team, and Florida has got a chance to make a Final Four as well and win a championship. They really do. I mean, it's just a bad matchup for Tennessee. They don't have the height that Florida does. And as athletic as our bigs are, Florida's are even more athletic. So I give them all the credit in the world in this game. And it didn't help that Chaz Lanier didn't have his best night, but Florida game planned for it. They really took him out. They wanted us to make somebody else beat him. And you mentioned it, man, Jordan Gainey, he tried his absolute darndest to do it. But when you only have three guys scoring in double figures, and it's 24 from Gainey, 23 from Ziegler, and then the next highest is Lanier with 11. Igor only played 18 minutes in the game due to foul trouble. Jemiah Meshack and Chaz Lanier both fouled out with like 5 minutes left to go in the game as well. And then your bigs, you got a total of, 9 points from your post players. If you add in Milicic, then it was 13 points. That's not going to cut it in a game like this. Yep.
I agree 100%. I was just kind of looking through the stat lines, kind of seeing like what is the big difference. And I think Igor, it's tough, man. This is too long of a run here where he's just not been able to score consistently, I'll say. But then again, he's just not getting the minutes because he's constantly in foul trouble. Constantly not running the right game plan. Especially against Auburn, man, there's several times where we turned the ball over because he wasn't doing the pick and roll correctly. He wasn't cutting into the rim. I just feel like he kind of looks a little lost out there. A lot of what we were saying about Darlin Stone-DeBar at the beginning of the year is that, man, he just doesn't look like he's supposed to be on the court right now. I kind of get that vibe from Igor every now and again. More so than not here lately, unfortunately. But, foul trouble hurt us a lot in this game. I think both teams had over 40 fouls? No. Both teams combined had over 40 fouls.
Yeah, it was a total between the two teams of 46 fouls in the game.
Here's all I'll say about the refs, because what I have to complain about has nothing to do with the outcome of the game, just to be clear. But at the end, I found it very comical that at the end of the game, when we're trying to foul,
they weren't calling anything.
Yeah, we knocked a dude over and waiting for the whistle, and they didn't call it. I'm like, that's hilarious, considering you were calling a foul every time we put a hand on somebody the entire game. But what made that situation comical more so than not is it was the play where they threw it in. The guy called it. I think it was like Jordan Gainey and maybe Zakai Ziegler both knocked him over back over the half court line, which should have been a foul, or
it should have been a foul first, but then if you're not going to call it, it
should have been backcourt
violation.
But they didn't call the whistle on either one of them, and then it ends up being a molly whopping freaking alley oop that really sealed the deal. But how in the world there wasn't a whistle on that play? That's all I'm sending to the SEC office, bro. I'm like, what is this? What are we doing? I understand the game's over, and you want to get home, but like, yeah, you still got to call it. Like, I don't know. But at that point, Tennessee could get the ball back, sink a 3 in your 2-possession game. Like, that's where my mindset's at. But either way, I'm not taking anything away from what Florida did in this game. I think overall they game plan for it. I think Tennessee needs to get ready for that type of refereeing though in the tournament. The referees in the tournament are not going to allow you to get away with everything the SEC usually would as far as the physicality. At this time of year, man, Tennessee gets strapped on to be this stone cold football team on a basketball court that just goes out there and breaks noses and whatnot. So like Tennessee's going to have to prepare for that and understand, hey, we got to be physical, but we can't be too aggressive on the reach ins and stuff like that. So no, man, it was just a hard fought game.
I mean, you really have to play the way the referees will let you play. And, in the Auburn game yesterday, man, they let you play.
Yeah,
they really did.
Exactly.
They let you play the entire game.
But I think that's what set Tennessee up kind of for failure in this game when it was completely different. I mean, it was completely different.
Yeah, and, granted, most of the fouls that they called today, they probably were fouls, but it was really, really touchy, and it was both ways.
It was both ways. Like when Zakai Ziegler would just run around, and it was like a foul every time when I felt like they were just trying to defend him, but I don't know. It was both ways. You're 100% right on that.
Yeah, and actually by the end of the game, Florida had more fouls than Tennessee did, but it was just the way that the fouls are being called, all the touch fouls. I mean, you had Florida with 4 people. They ended up with 4 fouls. Tennessee had 2 people foul out. Lanier and Meshack and Akpara finished with 4. Somehow Milicic only finished with 3, which just blows my mind because he missed like the entire first half because he picked up 2 fouls in the first 4 minutes of the game.
Here's where Florida did it right, and I don't know how they did it, but like everybody had 3 or 4 fouls. Like there was not one person with 5 and one person with 1. No, it was like everybody on the team at one point had 3 fouls, all exactly the same. I'm like, how did they do that? Like, how's it even fair? But no, I mean, overall, Jordan Gainey, Zakai Ziegler, I think averaged 20 points a game throughout the tournament in the 3 games. That's what you want to see.
That'd be right because he had 19, 20, and then 23.
It's what you want to see out of a guy who got you 1 point against Ole Miss. What game was it?
South Carolina.
South Carolina. He only got 1 point for you. So it's pretty cool that he come on against some of the toughest competition and was able to average you 20 points a game in the tournament. Jordan Gainey, pretty close to doing the same thing. I think he went for 15, 20, and 24. So Jordan Gainey, man, I've said it all season long that is one of the most important players on this team because when Jordan Gainey scores double digits, more than likely you're winning. Now in this case is definitely a debunker to that theory, but I can't be mad at the team for this. This effort was good. Florida, I would consider as the number 1 team in the nation right now. They're definitely the hottest team in the nation, and you went, I would say, toe to toe with them through and through. I mean. I really wish we'd have been able to take a lead at some point to really kind of put some pressure on them a little bit. But you got to credit Walter Clayton Jr., the guys that they have on that team. They didn't miss, man. And even when they did, they got the boards and put it right back up, man. It's insane how good that team was. And to be able to put up, I think they put up 90, 104, and 86 or something like that. Like what are you going to do, bro? It's insane.
Yeah, this is a really good team and really excited to see where both of these teams are at. In the tournament. We'll find out here pretty soon as neither one of us are watching a selection show, but I know some others probably are, but we will find out here in about 30 minutes whenever we fill out our brackets. And
shout out to the seniors, bro. Like this is I mean, obviously came up short on the championship, but man, what a run to end I would say this is the end of the regular season, but I know this is technically postseason. Yeah. But man, they really gave it a run. Went to the championship game twice in 3 years, and man, I'm proud of them. This is awesome.
Yep. And Eric, by the way, if you're still watching, stick around for our 3rd segment today, and you can fill out a bracket with us. As we do have, I mentioned earlier, link in the description of YouTube and Facebook. If you want to go to that and fill out a bracket, join our Vol Fanatics tournament group on the ESPN Tournament Challenge. You can fill out a bracket
completely free
with us. Oh, that's right. Yeah, completely free. Well, Skylar, you got anything else before we move ahead to some baseball and softball?
No, man, I'm really ready to talk baseball, right? Next one?
Yep, baseball is next, man.
Bet. Well, before we get going, I would like to let you guys know who our segment 2 sponsor is, and that is P&L Business Services. We know firsthand that getting your monthly reporting, invoicing, bill pay, taxes, and other essential business services right is critical. That's why at P&L Business Services right here in Oak Ridge, we go beyond bookkeeping by providing you with everything you need in your back office so you can have your time back and the peace of mind to do what you love most, which is building your business. Behind every successful business is a great bookkeeper. To reach out to pnlbusinessservices.com. It's as simple as that, and they can help you with everything behind the scenes so you can keep what's most important to you, and you can stay out there in the field, and they'll take care of all the headache and Uncle Sam and IRS and anything else like that. Again, that's pnlbusinessservices.com. We appreciate the continued support there. All right, we're talking baseball and we're talking history here. We're talking Florida series. What a day, what a weekend, by the way. I mean, for Sunday to be championship Sunday in basketball, it's Tennessee, it's Florida. And then for baseball, man, the team's going for a sweep today against Florida. And they did get it, man. We're going to talk about all three games, man. Friday night was a thriller. And how about you give us the rundown on that game real quick?
Yeah, so it was a really good game that Tennessee started off getting a run in the second inning. Let's see, I believe that was off of a Jay Abernathy single. Sorry, I got to pull up the scoring here. Yeah, bottom of the second inning.
Freshman,
Jay Abernathy single to center, scored Manny Marion off of that. Top of the fourth inning. Let's see. Don't have his name on there, but Florida hit a solo home run, tied up 1-1. Bottom of the fifth inning is whenever Tennessee did their big damage in the game, as Hunter Inslee on a bases loaded double scored Dean Curley and Jay Abernathy to go up 3-1, and then also off of a wild pitch, Gavin Keelan scored, going up 4-1 at the end of the fifth inning. Top of the sixth, Florida did get 2 runs back. Then bottom of the sixth inning, sac fly scored Dean Curley, and that was all the scoring as Tennessee went on to hold Florida throughout the rest of the game. 5-3, your final score. Liam Doyle.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say Liam Doyle had another good outing on the mound in this one starting off. Did not get the win.
And I got to credit Florida to this, man. I don't know if you watched the game intensely. Eric, I was reading one of his comments. Florida ability to battle in the box was insane. Like Liam Doyle was dicing him up, getting to a 2-strike count immediately. And then literally there was a batter for Florida faced Liam Doyle 3 times. And I think literally forced over 30 pitches. It was insane the way they were able to battle Liam Doyle, get his pitch count up, and get him out of the game. I thought Florida did a great job at that. Obviously, they didn't get the runs that they wanted, but Florida's ability, like I said, to be able to battle, have great quality at-bats to get Liam Doyle out of the game, man, I thought that was the game plan that you really wanted, and came up a little short. There was a big turning point in this game. I think it was the 6th inning. I can't remember what inning. They had actually tied it up, but then got called for base runner interference on a defensive play.
Yes, that's right. Right.
So it would have been tied at 4 at the time. And honestly, I think it would have only been, 2 outs. It was 1 out, but they got the out and then the interference to get the double play. So, yeah. So, no,
and
that was
a run scored on that play,
yes,
too.
It would have been
it got taken off the board.
It would have been 4-4, 100%. And that really would have been, I think that could have turned the entire series on its head. But, you got to credit Tennessee. Not only did they not allow that to keep them from making a run, but they ended up adding an insurance run to go up by another score. And I think that's what really put the Gators away. But, yeah, man, that big turning point in the game really helped Tennessee to get out to a 1-0 start in SEC.
Yeah, and a big credit to Nate Snead in this game is,
Hell,
it was whenever Nate Snead came into the ball game when that turning point happened, is it was bases loaded, if I'm not, or maybe it was runners on first and third. First and third. And ground ball to Keelan at second. He stepped on the bag, and as he's trying to looked like he tried to make the throw to first and never did throw it. That's when they called the interference. But from there, Nate Snead gets the 3+ innings save.
I was going to say it was a long save, but man, he did it. 3 and 2/3, almost 4 complete innings of pitching, and he only gave up 2 hits. 4 strikeouts in the 3 innings, 3 point. I don't know what you would call it, but 3 innings and 2 outs.
Yeah, 3.2.
Yep, 3.2 innings of work. He just a solid, confident. His ability to get ahead of the count immediately is insane. I mean, Nate Snead more times than not in an 0-2 count more than he's in a 2-1. I mean, it is almost automatic that he's starting out with a first pitch strike and then following it right back up with a foul ball or just another strike. Nate Snead looking great, looking like every bit of the player that we thought he could be coming out of the pen. And yours truly didn't have the greatest outing in this game, but he redeemed himself in a big way in this series. Dylan Lloyd, by the way.
Yeah, exactly, man. But first game this year that Tennessee did not hit a home run, but they didn't need it in this game as they got the win. Moving over to game 2, as that was the run rule victory in which 9 of their 10 runs came in the 7th inning, man.
Dude, I watched this. That was a beautiful thing to see.
But listen, I want to give a huge shout out to both starting pitchers in this game. As Marcus Phillips, man, he pitched an absolute gem of a game, went all 7 innings, only gave up 5 hits, no runs, 1 walk, and 7 strikeouts. And then, let me see, was it Aiden King? Is that the pitcher here? Yes, Aiden King. He went 6 innings in this game and only gave up 4 hits, only 1 run, 1 walk, and 6 strikeouts. He pitched a gem of a game as well. Just like, as I mentioned, gave up that 1 run early in the contest. I believe it was it was in the bottom of the 2nd when Manny Marion singled to center and scored Levi Clark. But then when the relievers came in at the 7th inning,
all 3 of them?
Tennessee said, batting practice, here we come. And scoring in the 7th. It started off with Dean Curley hitting a bases clearing double down the left field line. Scored
that was so beautiful.
Barron and Chapman. And then what about the pull the jersey apart?
Roberto
shirt underneath, man. That was awesome to see.
That was a very viral meme going around after that. That was good to see though. But yeah, but to continue though, Hunter Hensley singled to left right after that, scoring Gavin Keelan, and got Dean Curley. Dean Curley also scored. So that was a 2-run RBI. Fisher continued the hitting frenzy. All this with 1 out, by the way. He singled to left center, scoring Hunter Hensley and Gavin Keelan. And then Reese Chapman. I think at this point it was 7-1. Reese Chapman up to plate
7-0.
7-0. Yes, I'm so sorry. 7-0. Reese Chapman comes up to the plate, hits an absolute nuke over the right field line, scores, ends up being a walk-off home run because it's 10 after 7 in SEC, which I didn't know this, but that locked up Marcus Phillips' complete game shutout.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So, Florida's got some work to do in the bullpen. I think they'll figure it out for sure, but they've got some ace arms.
And they've got some young ace arms, too. I mean, every time they brought somebody out, it was a talented freshman or a talented redshirt freshman. It was all sorts of freshmen coming out of the pen that I think in the next couple of years, Florida's going to be a problem if those guys stick around.
100%. And that's the thing. One, it's baseball. It's NIL. You know how it is. Tennessee basically reloaded with half their team from the NIL. So, I mean, and the portal or whatnot. But, looking at Florida, the solid top 10 team. Tennessee kind of bullied their way into this win in the game too. But, man, I loved every bit of it. Florida played a great 6 innings of baseball in this game. Just unfortunately, the 7th inning, they were cooked. They could not figure out how to stop the bleeding in this game until the game was over.
Yep. Absolutely, man. I mean, it was just a fantastic effort, one of which, again, you only had the 1 home run in the game. That shows that this team, they can score without the long ball.
Well, they had 11 hits, man. They just could. I mean, and Florida did get a couple walks, but like Tennessee, man, just playing small ball. I'd say this: the freshman for Tennessee is playing amazing, all around.
Yeah,
you got Levi Clark, Jay Abernathy,
Manny
Marin. But I think it was Jay Abernathy made like a sweet catch in the outfield, bro. Smacked into the wall, kind of like Hunter Hensley.
Hunter Hensley-esque.
Yeah,
I mean, Hunter's been really training out those outfielders right.
I'm telling you, bro. They got the right
body
leaders
on the line.
They got the right leaders out there. Jay Abernathy, very quickly, and by the way, it is a fact. The cousin of one Micah Abernathy who played on the football team, and but just he's going to be one of those kids in 2 or 3 years. I hate to compare him because but as likable as Fulke, as Zakai Ziegler, I feel like Jay Abernathy is very quickly becoming that type of name, and he's doing it literally within year one. I think if that kid sticks it out, keeps playing his heart out the way he is, he may not have 100 home runs in his career, but I think he's going to be a big difference maker in this program.
Yep, 100% agree, man. So now we'll move ahead to the series sweep today. As
what? We had to make up for that
Tennessee-
basketball loss, bro.
Yeah, we sure did. Tennessee beats Florida 7-4. I did not catch this game today. I was busy watching the basketball game. So, just going down the scoring here, Tennessee started off in the bottom of the third inning as Dean Curley grounded out to third, but Jay Abernathy scored off of that ground out. Florida did take a lead in this game as they put up all four of their runs in the fourth inning.
They were up 4-1 at one point in this game.
Yeah, let's see. Evans doubled down left field line, and he scored Shelton and Bozer. And then you had a fielder's choice as Lawson scored off of that fielder's choice out in right field. And then let's see, Heyman out at first, but Evans scored off of it. It was a error on the play. Is what it looks like. So it looks like somebody was trying to do a steal second, and it was a bad throw that caused Evans to score off of that. But then Tennessee, after that, bases loaded walk, scored Hunter Inslee from Reese Chapman. Then Gavin Keelan in the bottom of the fifth inning hit a solo home run, continuing his just dominance at the plate. And then in the bottom of the sixth, Tennessee put up two more as Cannon Peebles hit a 2 RBI double, scored Abernathy and Marin. And then Reese Chapman, man, his second home run of the series, a 2-run shot to center field, scoring Dalton Bargo off of that for the 7-4 victory as Dylan Lloyd ends up getting the win in this game.
Much deserved.
Yep,
Brother had 3 innings of work, had 5 strikeouts. He did hit a batter, and he did give up 1 hit, but overall against 10 batters faced in 3 innings of work, he struck out half of them and really shut down Florida's offense because they were kind of on a roll. They kind of roughed us up a little bit after we had Brandon Arvidsson come in as our first reliever to finish off the 3rd inning. And then Tanner Franklin had to relieve him in the 4th inning when he got in some trouble, obviously giving up 3 runs right there. Tanner Franklin gave up a run after 1 hit. But Dylan Lloyd came in right there in the 5th inning, I believe, and pitched 3 quality innings of work. I'm sorry, the 4th inning. Pitched 3 quality innings. I mean, out striking out 5 of 10. Nate Snead came in right behind him to finish off the 8th and 9th. And also got 2 strikeouts and 7 batters faced. Nate Steed, again, working ahead of the count. Florida didn't go down without a fight, though. I mean, they literally in every single at-bat, even when they were ahead in the count. I mean, Nate Steed, for instance, at the end of the game was 0-2 on one of the counts, and some calls were questionable, but that's baseball, right? They were able to work out full counts and even work in a walk or 2. I mean, Florida's ability at the plate, man, I think this team is – their national perspective is probably going to look, man, they got swept by Tennessee. Florida's not good. They're not going to give Tennessee the credit I feel like they deserve because of the really good team that we played. But Florida, man, they're going to win some games. They're 100% going to be in the top half of the field in the SEC. I think they're probably going to end up being top 5 in the SEC. And being top 5 in the SEC, you're top 10 in the nation. So, I credit Florida. I know they got swept. They deserved it, though, after beating us in basketball. No hard feelings.
Yeah.
But I love our arms. I think we have a few that need to get some more experience. But having guys like Dylan Lloyd, Nate Snead, and et cetera in the back pocket, in the bullpen, is what's going to separate Tennessee this year, in my opinion, from the rest of the field. I think, and that's what creates a championship team. Baseball, you can have all the hitting in the world, but if you ain't got the pitching to contribute as well to, I don't know what the word I'm looking for is.
Well, see, that's the scary thing about this team is, most teams, they either have dominant hitting or they have dominant pitching.
Or defense. I would say or defense. Like
yes.
some teams have killer defenses.
Tennessee has all of those.
100%.
That's the scary thing for all the other teams in the country.
Such a
right
good
now
outfield too, man.
Is,
a fast.
That's the one thing that Tennessee, since Tony Vitello has been here, they have always had a dominant outfield. I mean, coming into this year, I was thinking, who are we going to put out there? Because you're losing Dylan Dreiling. Hunter Inslee is coming back, but then you're losing Kavares Tears, all of which were lockdown outfilders last year.
And
so who's going to fill that spot?
And massive bats.
Oh, yes, massive bats as well.
Yeah.
All you did was just, Reese Chapman stepped up, filled the right field spot. Jay Abernathy so far has filled the left field spot, but I think that you can put a Dalton Bargo out there. You can put an Andrew Fisher out there. You can put I won't say Levi Clark. He's more of like a infield utility player, but you've got guys that you can put out there that I think are just as good. And plus, they all have really good bats too. Not to Tears and Dreiling type level, but they're serviceable for what you need them for, and they're going to get you hits, if not long bombs, as Chapman did twice this weekend.
Tennessee gets the series sweep, getting the win over Florida. What was it, 7-4 today? This was a little bit of a nail biter. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Florida held the lead right now at 4-1, top of the fourth, and then Tennessee got one back to make it 4-2. And then from there, it was 5 runs in the next 4 innings, in the 5th, 6th, and 8th, where they added 2 crooked numbers in the 6th and 8th. But Tennessee gets control. Very, very well pitched game. Both teams, man, only gave up 5 hits for Florida. And then Tennessee got 6 hits. So very low hitting game, but a game in which the hits were very costly for both teams. I mean, they got the hits in the timely manner that they needed them. But at the end of the day, man, you kind of look at the errors, and that's could be what separated it. Florida with 2 errors, Tennessee with 1. And, I kind of mentioned that I do feel like the infield for Tennessee is still trying to gel. I don't feel like they're quite as crisp as they need to be, even though we're 20 games in. I still feel like they're working on it. But, man, this offense doesn't look like they're slowing down anytime soon. So, especially when you got Marcus Phillips. By the way, Marcus Phillips was a closer last year. And the dude came out and gave you 7 innings of shutout baseball and his out. I mean, come on. Frank is getting it done, brother. I mean, come on. I mean, just I'm loving what I'm seeing from the pitching group, which I didn't really – I mean, I had my doubts because we lost so many good arms the last 2 years that I'm like, man, it's impossible to just keep that up. But honestly – that's why I'm sitting here talking about it and not on the coaching staff or on the team because, man, they've done that. And 20-0, you can't argue it. We just swept a top 10 team in the nation, and it's not like they were ranked because it was the second week of the season. No, I mean we're 20 games into this. We're 10 weeks into the season. All right, I mean like I'm very proud of the fellas. Big things to come. I think this team actually has literally what it takes, not just to make it to Omaha, but they're a title contender again. Yeah, I mean,
they've got what it takes.
They're the closest team, I think, in a while to be able to do it because most of the time we see a team win it and then they fall off the next year. LSU did a good job. LSU did a good job, but other than that, man, Tennessee has done so good this year, coming right back to it.
Do you know who the last team in college baseball to win back-to-back titles was?
ACC or SEC?
SEC.
Vanderbilt?
South Carolina.
What?
2010 and 2011. They went back-to-back.
I think I knew that. But I think Vanderbilt was like 2 and 3 years or something like that then. Because
they won 2 and 3 years. So they beat Virginia. Then the following year, Virginia beat them. And then I think Vanderbilt beat like Mississippi State or something like that.
Okay.
So yeah, it was 2 and 3 years.
Dang,
but
I thought I had that.
Yeah, but no, if I'm not mistaken, South Carolina's first title, they beat UCLA team led by Trevor Bauer, and then the following year beat Florida.
Okay. Well, I know history says SEC and ACC kind of own baseball. So you can kind of guess one of those teams between. I mean, it's pretty crazy how dominant those 2 conferences have been in the sport. But But dude, anything else you want to cap up on this baseball team, man?
And now let's talk a little bit about softball. We'll start with a midweek game again, a top 25 midweek game for the softball team, in which Carlton Pickens throws an absolute gem, and Tennessee gets a 1-0 victory over Duke.
Just enough, bro.
Yeah,
just enough.
Carlton Pickens complete game shutout, only gave up 2 hits, 2 walks, had 10 strikeouts in the contest, and then the difference maker in the game, a solo home run from Taylor Pannell in the bottom of the first inning. And that's all That's all the offense Tennessee needed. And it's nice to see Tennessee get a win like this because over the past 2 years, we've seen so many games where you got somebody like Carlin Pickens or Peyton Godshaw or whoever throw a
You
gem
lose
of a
at
ball
1-0.
game, but you lose 1-0 because you can't get across one run. Well, you finally get across a run in this game and get a win 1-0. So that's good to see. But this softball team, there's something special too. They've got a bunch of really good players on this team. Obviously, a generational talent and Carlin Pickens on the mound. And then just getting over to the weekend series because there wasn't much to talk about in this game. It's a non-con series against UConn. Had a doubleheader on Friday trying to get around the weather from yesterday. You pick up a run rule victory in game 1, winning 9-1 over UConn. Carlin Pickens gets the win in that one, going 5 innings, 4 hits, 1 run, 2 walks, and 8 strikeouts. And as far as the scoring went, starting in the bottom of the 7th is Sophia Nugent hit a sac fly that Allen scored off of. UConn did come back in the top of the 3rd with a solo home run, but then from there, it was Kinsey Fielder with a RBI single to center, Taylor Panel with a 3-run home run to left center, Laura Mealer in the bottom of the 4th with a solo home run to left, Kinsey Fielder doing it again in the bottom of the 4th with a 2 RBI single, and then Sophia Nugent in the bottom of the 5th rounded out the scoring with a RBI single to go up 9-1 and get the run rule victory in 5 innings.
That was a fun way to start the series. But I really want to talk about the next game. I'll watch the next game, brother. A game where Tennessee, UConn, man, they battled in game 2. Tennessee does get the win 4-3. It was in 10 innings of work.
Look, all they wanted to do was just play 2 full games of softball.
Is that what it was?
They got the run rule victory in game 1, so it was like, so we got to send it to extras.
We have to have 14 innings of work.
Yeah, we've got to get a full day's work of the doubleheader. That's what it was.
No, Marjetko, though, getting the start, 4 innings of work. She only gave up 2 hits. She struck out 6 batters. She looked very much in control of this game, but you could tell when it got to crunch time, she got in a little bit of a pinch. Carlin Pickens comes back in and only gives up 1 hit in the final 6 innings of work. Really shut down UConn for the most part. However, we did get in some situations, got some walks. UConn got a timely hit, got an earned run, 2 runs across for Carlin Pickens, 1 earned to really push this thing. I think Tennessee was actually losing 3-2 at one point in the 7th. And yeah, they put up the 3rd run in the top of the 7th. That's exactly what happened because Kibling, I guess, reached on a fielding error, and they Jenkins for UConn scored on that play. I can't remember exactly what happened. I was in and out of this game, but in the 7th inning, bottom of the 7th, they would not pitch to. Oh my goodness, Taylor Panel. Thank you. Taylor Panel, they would not pitch to her. They like purposely walked her, I think, almost every single at-bat in this game. And all that did was allow Boo Gibson to come in right behind her and hit a sacrifice fly. Almost hit a home run, but it was a sacrifice fly. Scored the girl on 3rd. It was Savia Morgan. And that's what tied the game up at 3. Man, that place was rocking when she scored across that plate. At that point, 8th inning, 9th inning, tied, scoreless, nothing crazy happening. And then the bottom of the 10th happened. We held them in the top of the 10th. Laura Mealer gets up to bat, and she singled to the left side, and
Ella Dodge,
Nugent. Yes, advanced second. Ella Dodge scored on that play. I don't know why they put that in front of the person that scored, but I don't know. I need to get a new stat box. But either way, man, that was exciting. It was so fun. They celebrated like it was a daggum like super regional match, man. I mean, like all the feels were there. But credit to the fans who stuck it out, bro. 14 innings in a day, all while the baseball team was playing. Like, just a credit to the fans, a credit to the ladies for not overlooking this game by any means. They fought all the way to the end, got the job done. I don't know how old girl's arm is still intact. I mean, Carlin Pickens is throwing so much. I mean, I'm a little concerned about it. But then again, I know a softball throw, a pitch or whatnot is a lot more natural to the arm. And maybe that's why it's just she's able to do this. But man, she is the heart and soul of our pitching right now. We have some talent around her, but man, when it's crunch time, you know exactly what Karen Weekly's going to.
Oh, exactly. I mean, she's been here. This is her third year now. I feel like Sage Marjetko, she's gonna come around, but she's still a young arm. She was I believe a true freshman at South Carolina last year. So she's got some filling out to do in the conference before she can really step up and get to that point like what Carlin Pickens is at now. But moving over to game 3, we got Sage Marjetko again with another young arm in Aaron Newer, who has just been fantastic so far this year. Tennessee picks up a 6-3 victory in this game. And as far as on the mound today, so Aaron Newer got the start in this contest, went 5 innings. She gave up 7 hits, 2 runs, had 6 strikeouts with 1 walk. Marjetko came in the 6th inning and sealed the deal, picking up the win today as she went 2 innings, only gave up 2 hits and 1 run, 2 strikeouts and 10 batters faced to finish it off today. But from the plate, man, it was another pretty good day for the Lady Vols. UConn, in the first 4 innings, it was just all defense and pitching, as nobody scored in the first 4 innings. UConn got the scoring started in the top of the 5th as Jenkins hit a solo home run. Then the bottom of the 5th inning, man, Kenzie Fielder, 3-run home run to center, scoring Alana Leach and scoring. Is that Amanda Allen? Is that her name? I'm sorry,
Amanda.
I'm still learning. I'm still learning the names for this softball team.
I'm not seeing
this year. Let me see.
Oh yeah, Allen. Yeah, Amanda Allen.
Yeah, Amanda Allen. Okay, making sure I had her name right. But
it is spelled AHLIN.
Yep. Then the top of the 6th, UConn actually scored tied the game back up as Breslin ended up singling, scoring Petty's off of that, and then Kibling right after that singled, scoring Jenkins off of it. So a 3-3 ball game going in the bottom of the 6th inning, and then Boo Gibson with a solo shot, followed by a Gabby Leach single that scored Laura Mealer and Bella Fall. And Tennessee held UConn in the top of the 7th inning, and that was it for the 6-3 victory for the Lady Vols in this contest.
I just received breaking news. We have breaking news. Do you want to guess what the breaking news is?
Is it Tennessee seeding?
It's not really breaking. It's pretty much expected. It's what we all expected. So that's not breaking. I do have that. They are officially a 2 seed. In the Midwest region, they'll be facing Wofford in round 1. The breaking news is SEC did it. It 14. Is a record 14 teams in the field. They had to, man. Texas, no way. No way. After the little run they had in the tournament, there's no way Texas didn't get in. So good on Texas. They got in at a whopping 6-12 SEC record.
So before we talk about that some more, do you have anything else on softball? We'll just move right over to the tournament.
I don't. And it's not that I don't. It's hard for me to talk too much about it. I didn't watch it. I will get to watch it. It's just right now I only caught one of those games, and the ladies did a great job. They swept UConn. They did exactly what they needed to do. They're into SEC play now for real. I think they had like the first week of SEC play. They ended up
they beat Georgia 2-1. Got to see.
Yeah, they beat Georgia 2-1. That's right. And then they have the break for some reason right after because it's only 15 SEC teams. So, but they're about to drive full head first into SEC play now. But man, they're doing great. I think as long as Boo Gibson and Taylor Panel, man, as long as they get pitched to her, I think they'll be really solid. Just got to have the defense behind them. So no, they did a great job. I would like to absolutely talk about the bracket. I mean, it's March, dude. Come on.
Yeah,
March baseball still got another two months, bro. Come on. Yeah, I'm giddy.
March is March, man. Right?
March is March. All right, easy now, Charlie. Shout out to him, by the way. Yeah. He was on the call on ESPN Plus Friday night for the for the softball. He might have been all 3, but he was on the ESPN broadcast, and I noticed his voice right off the bat. So shout out to Charlie.
Yeah, shout out Charlie Collier. He's a really good guy. I love listening to him on the EA show. But without further ado, let's get into our tournament picks. But before we do that, I'll give you our segment 3 sponsor, which is Kaizen Painting. Do you want a colorful life? Kaizen is a painting and drywall company that provides residential, commercial, exterior, and interior services. At Kaizen Painting, we understand the importance of a beautifully painted home and properly installed and repaired drywall. We're here to bring your vision to life. We care about providing you with a personalized, efficient, and quality service. If you live in Knoxville and surroundings, contact us for a free estimate at kaizenpainting.com. Color your life the Kaizen way. So, Skylar, while I'm getting our camera set up here, you were talking SEC did get 14 teams in. Do you have like the conference breakdown of who all got in, or was it just the breaking news that you saw about the SEC?
Yeah, so if you're just looking about who got in, I will let you know that Florida and Auburn did secure the 1 seeds. And I believe Auburn got the actual number 1 overall because they were in the South region, which is insane to me. I would have definitely thought Florida in their resume should have been the number 1 overall. But Auburn, Duke, and Houston, Florida get your number 1 seeds. Now, I will go in the South region and let you know who's all in there from the SEC, as it looks like A&M is in the South with Auburn as the 4 seed. Ole Miss is in Auburn's bracket as the 6 seed. And that will do it for the South. So Ole Miss, Texas A&M, and Auburn are all in the South. We've got the East bracket over here, which you guys will see this for sure. But in the East, we have Alabama as the 2 seed, Vanderbilt as the 10 seed. And it looks like that's going to do it for the SEC there in the East. So 2 in the East. In the West, we have Oklahoma as the 9 seed. Florida, obviously, the 1. Oklahoma as the 9 seed. We have Missouri as the 6 seed. And we have Arkansas as the 10 seed there. Playing Kansas. Ooh, tough draw for Arkansas in game 1. But then final but not least, Midwest, which is where Tennessee is at. We do get the bracket with Kentucky as the 3 seed. I love that for us. They owned us this year. Hopefully we can get it when it counts. But that looks like that is it. Kentucky and Tennessee in the Midwest. So shaping up to be a sweet 16 showdown for Kentucky and Tennessee if they can win their way there.
All right. Well, since you
Kentucky's not made a Sweet 16 in like 10 years, though. If I want to go ahead and start throwing some daggers.
That's also under John Keller.
Yeah.
So,
all right.
All right. So since you've got your bracket pulled up right now, you want to go ahead with the South region?
I love how you're the one that pulled up my bracket and then like said, because yours is put. No, I got you. It's okay. Which bracket do you want to start with?
We'll start with the South region up in Auburn's top left.
I don't think this is hard. Auburn. For sure gets the win there. Louisville, Creighton. I like the way Louisville's been playing lately. Creighton did make a run in their tournament, though. Got to give them props. Michigan's been playing solid lately. I'm going to take Michigan. Yale over A&M. I think A&M's got to win this game because they have not been playing great lately. So give me A&M. UNC or South Dakota State. That's going to be the playing game. I like the guard play of Ole Miss. What's up?
I was gonna say to cut you off for just a second. I think it's just an absolute disgrace that UNC made the tournament with the season that they had this year. They had 1 quad 1 win this year. I'm sorry, I think they had 0 quad 1 wins and 1 quad 2, something like that. I mean,
is Texas a playing game? Is that why I didn't see them?
Probably.
Texas is going to be a playing game somewhere. Where at? I can't find it. Never mind. Okay.
Yeah, we'll come across it.
I'll look it.
But yeah, I really do not like that UNC's in the field. I do not think that they played their way in, but it is what it is. I think that they get beaten round 1 by San Diego State. Just a spoiler whenever I get to my bracket. Let's see. I'm
gonna keep going, but I think I'm drunk. I'm not seeing Texas on the bracket. I'll get there. We'll get there. We got to go game by game, right? So we'll get there. Give me Ole Miss. Give me Iowa State. I'm taking all favorites, and I do not like this. So I'm going to take New Mexico over Marquette to be my one upset in this bracket. And then I do think Michigan State in March. I mean, come on. They got to win that. So that's my South bracket. I guess, do you want me to finish this all the way to the Final Four? Or
yeah, go ahead and finish that one up to the Final Four, and then we'll swap over to mine.
Give me Auburn. Give me Michigan. Give me Iowa State. And give me Michigan State. And then give me Auburn. And give me Iowa State. and then give me Auburn to go to the Final Four. I think they have to. I think the chip on the shoulder, losing 3 of their last 4, is going to drive this team to a Final Four without a doubt. I think that's almost one of a lot. I think that's a lot, dude. I might get clipped up if they lose, but if they lose, man, what an ultimate choke job by Bruce Pearl. I mean, seriously. This is the best team he's had in forever, and they've played like it for the most part up until the last 2 weeks. So give me Auburn to the Final Four. I'd like to see your picks.
So out of the South region, Skylar has Auburn. I'll go ahead and make the picks for the South region. No, not at all. So yeah, this will definitely not be a 16-1 upset as Auburn is going to win. Not in this game. There could be a 16-1 upset, but it won't be this particular game. I'm also going to go Louisville. I like how they played as of recently. Creighton did have a run down the stretch, but I think Louisville is playing a hotter ball right now. Michigan playing really well. I think that they are a better team in this one. I think they get a win. I'm actually going to go upset here. I got Yale over Texas A&M. Texas A&M is,
they're not playing good lately.
They're not playing very good.
They fell from a 2 to a 4 seed in the last 2 weeks, man.
Yeah, and then Yale has always been a team that has been upset-minded. I think they've gotten a couple in the past couple of years as well. Give me Yale over Texas A&M here. I am going to go Ole Miss over San Diego State. I think San Diego State beats UNC in the play-in game, but Ole Miss does beat them in the round of 64.
Just to be different from you on that. I don't know if you can even pick that, but give me North Carolina.
Yeah, so Iowa State and Lipscomb. Lipscomb is a very good team in the mid-major, but Iowa State is better. Give me Iowa State in this contest. I am also going to take New Mexico over Marquette.
Right.
Marquette is a decent team, but it's not the same Shaka Smart team that we've seen as of recently. New Mexico is a very good team. And then give me Michigan State over Bryant in that one. Auburn, I do think it gets a win over Louisville, but I think Louisville does push them in this game, and it's going to be a very close game down the stretch here. I do think that Yale's run, unfortunately, ends in this game as Michigan will beat them. I'm actually going to go Ole Miss over Ohio State or over Iowa State in this contest. Sorry.
Yeah, we don't like Ohio State. Can we not talk about that?
And Ohio State, I don't think made the tournament either. So
go away. Yeah. Way to throw that in there.
Yeah.
They upset Kentucky and missed the tournament. That's crazy. Thank you.
Yeah, man. But I do like Ole Miss as a team as of recently. They've played really well lately, so I think that they get a win over Iowa State here. And then Michigan State playing a very good New Mexico team, but Michigan State does get the win. Auburn against Michigan here. I think that this is going to be a really good matchup. Some big guys for Michigan, but they are turnover minded, and I think Auburn is going to really take advantage of that. And I've got Auburn actually winning a double-digit game in this one. Ole Miss against Michigan State. This is Tom Izzo in March, so I'm not going to root against or bet against Michigan State. Give me Auburn and Michigan State to play for the Elite Eight. I actually think this is where Auburn's run comes to an end. I think Michigan State gets a win here.
Michigan State.
Yeah,
Okay.
I would love to see Auburn make the Final Four just for the SEC. I want to see an all SEC Final Four, just to be totally honest. But but I think that
and you have it in the bracket where there's 3 SEC teams, and you have neither one of them making it to the Final Four.
Yeah, but I do think that
all right.
Tom Izzo is a really good coach. He plays really well in March. And, Bruce Pearl, just like Rick Barnes, has only ever made one Final Four before.
Yep.
And it was with the Auburn team a couple years ago. But
Michigan State, Sweet 16, that should be almost automatic, right? Tom Izzo, Sweet 16.
Yeah.
At the very least, round of 32 for Michigan State.
Yeah, but I've got Michigan State coming out of the South region. And we'll go ahead with the East region here is Duke, the number 1 overall seed. Even with the Cooper Flag injury going on, they're going to cruise through round 1 here. Mississippi State going up against Baylor. This is going to be a very good contest as Baylor not as good as they were expected to be starting off the season, but Mississippi State also has not been playing well. I'm going to go Baylor in this contest, but it's going to be a very close contest. I just don't know if Josh Hubbard can do it by himself in this game. Oregon going up against Liberty. I am going to take Oregon to win this. Arizona and Akron. I think Arizona is going to cruise through this game. Shout out Tobe Awaka, by the way. BYU against VCU. I am not rooting against or betting against BYU as they are one of the hottest teams in the nation. BYU is going to win this game. Wisconsin going up against Montana. Pretty decent Montana team out of the mid-major, but right now I've pretty much got all chalk going into it as Wisconsin is going to get the win here. This is where I do think Vanderbilt's early exit of the SEC tournament is going to fire them up, and I think Vanderbilt gets a win over St. Mary's in round 1 to advance to the round of 32. Alabama against Robert Morris. Alabama gets the win in this contest. Back up here, Duke going up against Baylor in the round of 32. I've got Duke winning, advancing to the Sweet 16 pretty easily. I don't think that's going to be a close game against Baylor. Oregon and Duke, this game really intrigues me, but I am going to take Arizona to win this game, advance to the Sweet 16. BYU and Wisconsin. Once again, I'm not betting against BYU, one of the hottest teams in the country. Give me BYU to beat Wisconsin in this game. And then Alabama against Vanderbilt. Let's see. So there was 3 SEC teams in this one as well, and I've got 2 of them meeting in the round of 32. Alabama.
I hate that, dude. But when you got so many SEC teams in it, there's really nothing you can do about it. So
yeah, I agree. Give me Alabama to win that game. Arizona against Duke, a very intriguing game here. I am curious how healthy Cooper Flagg is going to be in this game because that's going to be huge.
Duke's not been winning as dominantly, by the way, lately. And even if the final score looks like it, man, they've been behind in several of their conference, like the tournament games. They were down 10 points, 15 points. But you got to credit they did come back and win those games. But I feel like they've been playing with fire a little bit. So does that play into this?
It's something to watch out for. Duke has not played very many quad 1 games this year, and I think they've only won a handful of them, of the ones that they have won. So
proof that a number 1 seed is nothing but a record number. It doesn't matter who you play.
Exactly.
Just saying. It's kind of garbage, but if you've got a high number on the left column and a very low number on the right, doesn't matter who you played, you're getting the number 1.
Yeah. But give me Arizona in this game.
Okay.
I think Arizona gets hot down the stretch here. They have played very well most of the season. BYU and Alabama. This is a very good game.
Alabama made the Final Four last year.
Alabama did make the Final Four, and that's why I think that Alabama is going to bow out early here. I think BYU stays hot, and they make the Elite 8.
Baby, let's go.
Yeah, I really like BYU. Yeah, I really like BYU, but unfortunately, I do think their run comes to an end against Arizona in the Elite 8. So I have got Michigan State and Arizona right now in my Final Four.
You're making it too easy on me, Michael.
It's
joking.
crazy.
We're all gonna have like terrible brackets. It doesn't even matter.
And you know what? I'm gonna fill out a couple more of them as well. Where I'm gonna have like
all chalk,
favorites.
all nothing, like all. Yeah, I got
to see how close it is. But swap back over to your view here and start with the East region.
Well, it's no surprise here. I'm going with Duke. I am gonna go with Mississippi State over Baylor because I'm SEC biased a little bit, and I do think Mississippi State's a good team. I'm going to go Liberty over Oregon. This is where I'm going to be a little bit different.
Okay.
I do like the Liberty team. I haven't really seen much of Oregon, but I don't like Oregon. So I'm going to go with Liberty. I do like Arizona. I agree with you there. I'm going to go with BYU as well. I'm going to go with Wisconsin. I'm going to go with a little bit chalky here. And I do agree with you. I think Vanderbilt gets the upset over St. Mary's. I hope they get the upset over St. Mary's. Let me put it that way, because I do feel like Vanderbilt is a good enough team to beat St. Mary's. Yeah. However, they've been wildly inconsistent. So
they have been.
Would not surprise me at all if Vanderbilt doesn't beat St. Mary's. St. Mary's is not a pushover team.
Oh, St. Mary's is a very good team. I think they won the West Coast Conference.
Yes, but Vanderbilt has shown me the ability of winning against great competition. St. Mary's, I don't think, has shown me that as much as they've just been beating the teams that they're supposed to beat. So I'm gonna go with it, and I am gonna take Alabama. I wasn't thinking about that game. I was more just thinking about my thought process on Vanderbilt and Alabama. So I agree with you. I could absolutely see Bama losing this game to Vanderbilt, 100%. And one, just think about the media memes that would come from this after they lost to them in football. And then if
Oh,
they were
man.
to, if
I
they
didn't
were,
even think about
and
that.
exactly. So if they were to lose to him, I've already talked myself into it. Give me Vanderbilt. I swear,
There we
bro.
go.
I swear, bro. Can you imagine the internet if Vanderbilt puts Alabama out in the round of 32? Give me all of that. I hate Bama that much, bro. Come on, little bro. I believe in you. All right, so give me Vanderbilt. I do like Wisconsin in this game. Give me Arizona in an easy game over Liberty, and then give me Duke. I'm going to go with Duke over Arizona. Don't think they make it past. Give me Wisconsin, of course, over Vanderbilt. And then at that point, I got to go Duke. I'm going to go chalk, man. It's I'm not overthinking it. Duke's been the best team in the nation all year. So I am going chalk here, Duke Auburn. It's a little risky, but man, is it? I mean, these two teams all year long have been kind of two of the best. So
Yeah. So take your
I guess
pick.
I need to go. Do you
Take
want to
your
go?
pick.
Oh, I get to pick?
West region or Midwest?
Bet. Yeah, I'm gonna go Midwest. Give me Houston. Give me Gonzaga over Georgia. I like that pick a lot. Georgia, again, one of those wildly inconsistent SEC teams. I think they are for sure one of the teams that don't make it past the first round. Clemson over McNeese, I think it's a pretty easy pick. Clemson's been playing pretty good lately. They actually beat. Did they beat Duke in the regular season?
If they didn't, it came down to the wire.
Okay, I'm thinking they actually got the win over Duke at one point.
I think they did. I
think
it was
that was
early.
their lone. I think that was their lone ACC loss.
Yeah, I think it was early in the ACC slate that Clemson beat them. So yeah, I think you're right.
Right on. Purdue, hate Purdue, so I'm gonna go with a big upset here. Give me High Point. Yeah, I do choose emotionally sometimes. I strongly dislike Purdue, and High Point's going to be my Cinderella this year. So Cinderella to go to the round of 32. That is. Illinois, give me Illinois. There's Texas over Xavier. Boom, bam, shapow. Give me. I kind of like Texas. I think Texas will beat. I think Texas will beat Xavier. How would I choose this? I want Texas to win and go to the next round. How do I choose that?
All you have to do is just hit the Texas Xavier and it moves one of them to it. So, I mean, but yeah, there's no way to split it up. So basically you're picking Texas to beat Xavier and beat Illinois.
Okay. It just says both there. So like, I didn't know if that was like, I don't want this to be misconstrued as it being an Xavier. So
well, honestly, I mean, if Xavier wins both of those, then it still counts in your favor.
So let's go. Okay, then I like it. Give me that as an upset. Give me give me Kentucky. God dang it. Utah State, UCLA. I think Tennessee is going to end up playing UCLA in this game. Give me Tennessee. Give me Tennessee to beat UCLA, and then give me Kentucky. I do think it's inevitable. That's probably the matchup you're going to be looking at in this bracket. I'm going to go ahead and pick it, though. Tennessee gets revenge when it matters. I think Kentucky, there's no way possible they shoot 3 games against Tennessee 50% from three-point. And I think as long as they're below 40% from 3, they don't have much of an inside presence against Tennessee. So I'm taking Tennessee to win that one. And that is with the orange glasses on because they have beat us twice, and that's okay. But I just strongly feel like they beat us twice because they've literally shot the lights out from deep. And I just don't think they're able to do that a third time in a row against us. So moving on along, I think High Point loses to Clemson. And I will take Houston to beat Gonzaga. So at that point, it's Houston or Clemson playing Tennessee. And I am actually going to take Clemson to beat Houston. Yeah, I know that's stupid. I don't care. Somewhere there's going to be an upset, and I think that's where it's going to be. And I'm going to take Tennessee to make their first Final Four.
Yeah. So Tennessee to the Final Four out of the Midwest region. All right, we're going to swap back over to
you wouldn't hurt my
view
feelings at
here.
all if you didn't do it, because I understand that's unrealistic. But is it?
Well, I mean,
but
just looking through this bracket here, I'm going to have some upsets that you're going to kind of raise your eyebrows at.
Well, good, because that was probably my worst region as far as upsets go. So,
all right, so
I'm going to stay chalk on the West, probably.
I am going to take Houston to win in this contest. Gonzaga against Georgia. Ultimately, Mark Few, I think, has got a better team than Mike White does at Georgia.
Dude, don't
give me
talk about
Gonzaga.
Danny's brother like that, bro. Come on.
Look, he's got Georgia going in the right direction,
He
but
does.
he's still got a little bit bigger, a little bit more to go to get Georgia where he wants them to be. 5-12 matchup. Give me McNeese over Clemson.
Oh no, shot. Okay, that's what
look,
I'm talking about. Okay, March.
So McNeese, they haven't got a notable win this year, but they played Alabama and Mississippi State and lost by single digits in both of those games this year.
Okay,
I think they can absolutely beat Clemson in this contest.
I like it.
And then to follow that up, I'm not a believer in Purdue this year. Give me High Point over Purdue. Give me a 12-13 matchup in the round of 32. I do think that Texas beats Xavier in the play-in game, but I've got Illinois beating Texas in this game. Kentucky is going to beat Troy in this game. UCLA, Utah State is going to be a very good game. Utah State was one of the best teams on home court for most of the season, but this is neutral site. I do think UCLA has just enough to get past Utah State. And then Tennessee, they played Wofford earlier this year and dog walked them. Kind of a play on words. I know. There. I see what you're doing. Yeah. So Tennessee over Wofford here, going back up to the top. Houston and Gonzaga. That's going to be a pretty good game, but I do have Houston winning that contest. McNeese and High Point. You talked about High Point being your Cinderella. They are my Cinderella this year.
Boy.
Give me High Point over McNeese, making it to the Sweet 16. Illinois and Kentucky. I don't want to play Kentucky a third time because I'm afraid that it is possible Kentucky can shoot 50% from three again. So I'm going to take Illinois to beat Kentucky so we don't have to play them. And we've already played Illinois once this year.
I think Tennessee would be just fine with that.
Yes.
And Kentucky,
So
it's usual for them to go one and done.
Yeah. With those orange glasses on, I don't want to play Kentucky again. I'd rather play Illinois. Give me Illinois over Kentucky. And then Tennessee in a game that's a little bit closer than their liking against UCLA. They do get the win.
Let me say this. Tennessee is going to be in a dogfight in almost every game because that's just Tennessee's style of game. I mean, them blowing out a team is highly unlikely. The fact that we were able to do that to Florida by 20 without Zakai and Igor, I'm still puzzled how that even happened. I very much anticipate, maybe other than the first round against Wofford, I mean, Tennessee could be within a 5-10 point game in every round in this tournament.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Sweet 16 matchup, Houston and High Point. That's where High Point's run does come to an end.
I like it. Yep.
As Houston advances to the Elite Eight. Tennessee and Illinois, I've got Tennessee winning another close contest here. Houston and Tennessee, this is going to be an absolute dogfight. Two teams that have similar styles. This is going to be a low-scoring game where I bet the total on FanDuel is going to be somewhere around like I'm going to say like 119. Yeah, to be honest, it's going to be.
We're talking 59-55 type ball game.
Yeah, but I'm going to be with you. I'm going to say Tennessee makes the program's first Final Four in this season. But two teams that could absolutely either one of them win this contest and either one make the Final Four. But,
I don't know if Houston has the defense to stop Tennessee. I know that sounds dumb because Tennessee doesn't have the most prolific offense, but they're going to have to be physical to stay on Chaz Lanier on the three-point arc. Not a lot of teams have the ability to do that.
But that's where I'm going to disagree with you. I think they've got the defense. I don't know if they've got the offense to beat Tennessee.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that's just Kelvin Sampson's style. But moving over to the West region here, I do have Florida over Norfolk State. Close matchup, maybe. No, just kidding. Florida, one of the hottest teams in the nation. I do think that Florida gets a win here. I'm going to do it. The defending champs going down in the round of 64. Oklahoma is going to beat UConn in the 8-9 matchup here. We do have an SEC matchup in the round of 32 there.
Holy drop off, UConn. They're an 8 seed?
Yeah. UConn dropped off hard this year.
Crazy. All right.
Another 5-12 matchup here. I've got Colorado State over Memphis. Statistically, the 12 seed does beat the 5 seed. I believe it's 50% of the time. I think in the top two here, I've got both 5 seeds winning. So in the bottom two, I've got both 12 seeds winning. I'm going to take Colorado State over Memphis here. Maryland and Grand Canyon. I do have Maryland winning, although Grand Canyon, another very good mid-major team. Missouri and Drake. I really want to take Missouri to win this game, but Drake is one of the best teams in the nation. Even though they are mid-major, they were one of the last undefeated teams. Give me Drake to beat Missouri in this game. Skeeter, I do hope that I'm wrong. I'd love to see Missouri win this game, but I think y'all just got a bad draw here with Drake being the team that you're playing in round
Ain't they
one.
like one of the they have a killer record, don't they?
Yeah, they were one of the last undefeated teams. I think they've only got 4 losses on
Yeah.
the season. Let me see. 30-3 is
That's
their
what I'm saying. They
overall
have a
record
killer
here.
record, dude.
Yeah, and then
Now,
going
to be fair,
down-
they're not playing the greatest competition, but I mean, it's basketball, man. It's still crazy to win that many games.
So look here. I mean, obviously not just standout competition,
But they beat Vanderbilt. They beat Miami.
They beat Miami by double digits. They beat Vanderbilt by double digits. Beat Kansas State by 3. Yeah, I mean they've got no problem playing bigger competition here. So I've got Drake beating Missouri. Texas Tech's going to get a win over UNC Wilmington. Arkansas and Kansas. I don't trust John Calipari in March. You got a bad draw playing against Kansas. Kansas not a great team this year. And what about Kansas? A 7 seed, man. Kansas is a 7 seed. That's how far they fell this year. But they do get a win against Arkansas here. St. John's and Omaha. I am going to go St. John's here. I really want to pick a 15-2 upset, but I don't see it happening this year. So give me St. John's in this one. Going back to the top here, Florida and Oklahoma. Florida is a superior team here, so they're going to easily advance to the Sweet 16. Maryland and Colorado State. I've got Maryland winning that game. Drake and Texas Tech. Texas Tech got a pretty good team, but once again, I'm going to go Drake to win this contest and make the Sweet 16. Kansas and St. John's. Rick Pitino's got a really good squad this year. Give me St. John's over Kansas. Florida and Maryland. I really don't think it's going to be much of a contest. I think Florida is going to win this game by double digits, and they're going to advance to the Elite Eight. St. John's and Drake. Give me St. John's in that one in a close ball game. And then if there's any team out of this bracket that I think can give Florida a run for their money, it is St. John's. But Florida is going to make the Final Four this season. I'll go ahead while I'm on here and make my Final Four and championship picks. Give me Florida over Michigan State to make the for Florida to make the title game. What about I didn't even realize I did this. What about Tennessee playing Tobe Awaka in the Final Four, man?
That'd be crazy. It's not out of the realm of possibility either, man.
Yep.
Could absolutely happen.
Give me Tennessee over Arizona, but
there's no way. There's no way this happens, bro. If this happens, this would be the storylines would be insane.
It would be, and as much as I would love to pick Tennessee to win this game, man. I hate the Florida-Tennessee matchup. I'm gonna go
they're
Florida.
Big, bro. I mean, they're big and they get down the floor. That's what's gonna make them unstoppable in this tournament.
I'm gonna go Florida to win this game, but I think it's once again a single-digit game. How many total points will be scored in the game? I'm gonna go 162 total points.
So a little bit higher scoring.
Yeah.
Kind of played in the upper 70s, 80s.
Well, I mean, you look, only one of the contests so far. Well, I take it back. So it was 70-40 in the first one, 60-40 in the second one. And then today was 82-73 or 83.
Yeah, today was one of the highest scoring matchups between the two because they scored 87. I think it was 87-60, 86-77. I think is what the.
So I'm going to go down a little bit. I'm going to say 152.
No, my bad. I didn't mean to change your mind.
No, I just after I thought about it there, I was like, 162 might be a stretch, but I think 152 is going to be the total points there. So swap back over and let you finish yours off here.
Right on. All right. So you just have the West region here. Yeah, I'm gonna take Florida. Florida I know in basketball it's not as but man, they're just bigger, faster, stronger. You name it. I am going to take UConn in this matchup. I think, yeah, I'm going to take UConn in this matchup. I like what Oklahoma's done this year, but UConn still got some talented guys on the team that were a part of that old team, right? Like, they have familiar faces, maybe. Liam McNeely, solo ball, averaging 14.5 points a game. I don't know. Maybe not, dude. Maybe not. Who did you take in this game?
I took Oklahoma. This could go either way. Jeremiah Fears is a fantastic freshman for Oklahoma.
Yeah, maybe Oklahoma does get that, but I'm gonna be different than you. Then I'm gonna take UConn. I will take Memphis because I was looking. I do have a 12 seed winning in this bracket. I have Liberty beating Oregon, so I do like it. I'm gonna take the fives everywhere else though. For the most part, and it's Memphis, man. We got put on for Tennessee, bro. Come on.
No, I do not root for Penny Hardaway. I'm sorry.
I don't know the story there. I don't know. But
so when Tennessee did the series with Memphis a couple years ago,
yeah,
Tennessee, I think they played in Knoxville first, and then they went out to Memphis, and each time it was barn burner games, really tight, and Penny Hardaway complained the whole time. And then when they go to Nashville for the neutral site game to finish off the series, like 15 minutes before tip-off, Penny Hardaway canceled the game because he said too many players had COVID on his team. You know this the night before. You
That's
don't know
wild.
this 15 minutes before tip-off.
He's scared.
My father-in-law and my brother-in-law both went to this game, and obviously it got canceled 15 minutes before tip-off. They're like, what in the world's going on? Luckily, Tennessee put on an inter-squad scrimmage just so the fans had something to watch. But it's like, really? We paid to watch this game, and then he's going to cancel the game 15 minutes before tip-off?
Credit to Tennessee for doing inter-squad scrimmage and like risking. I mean, a lot of teams won't do that because of injury risk and whatnot. So, I mean, credit to them for still putting on a show. Like, it's pretty good. Okay. Well, I mean, I'm still taking Memphis to be different than you. But maybe I won't be rooting for Memphis. But give me Maryland over Grand Canyon. I will take Missouri over Drake. Missouri, man, their 6th man is insane. He can,
Caleb Guerrero's fantastic.
Yep. I like him in this matchup. Give me Texas Tech over UNC Wilmington, and give me Arkansas over Kansas. I do like that matchup. I'm not a believer in John Calipari. You're 100% right, but you look at Arkansas's resume, man. They have some good wins. They have some tough losses to some great teams, but man, they've really always been in the game. Tennessee, I think, actually beat them by more than like Auburn. They were within 8 points, I believe. Florida, they were within 7 points. You look at and I'll back this up with some receipts. I was seeing it in the preview. You look at Arkansas here, and let's see, Arkansas and their team insight. So they lost to Tennessee by a good margin, right? But then to Florida, they only lost by 8. They beat Kentucky and Texas, but those are not great wins. I'll say that. But like, look at that. Only a 4-point loss to Alabama, only an 8-point loss to A&M, and only a 7-point loss to Auburn. Those are three. Those are three of some of the best teams in the nation, and they hung right there with them. And I don't think Kansas is as good as those teams. So I think Arkansas maybe can catch lightning in a bottle. Maybe we'll see. I think they have the talent to do it. It's got to make sense on it. Clearly, they're not the defensive team, but if they can get hot, I mean, that's John Calipari's recipe. If they can get hot, I mean, who knows? I'll say this: Jonas Aidoo's got to do something for them to make a run. Without a good big scoring some points, Arkansas is going to lose in the first round. Give me St. John's. Give me St. John's to beat Arkansas, and then give me Missouri to beat Tech, and then give me Maryland to beat Memphis, and then give me Florida to beat UConn.
Yeah, can I say this before you move on? If Missouri beats Drake, I do like them over Texas Tech. I think that they can make the Sweet 16. That Drake matchup in round 1 really scares me for Missouri.
No, and you're 100% right. I agree with you. I like the Tech game for Missouri better, which sounds dumb. I like that game better than the Drake game. I'm more confident in them beating Tech than Drake. And I know that sounds dumb, and it might sound like a disrespect to Tech, and whatever. I mean, I just think matchup wise, I think they do a lot better there.
Yeah.
Florida, Maryland. Give me Florida. I don't want to, but give me Florida. And then Missouri, St. John's. I have a hard time with this pick. I know what Missouri's done this year. St. John's has been dominant, but who have they played? I'm going to be really quick here. See, Missouri's beat Kansas. They've beaten the Florida Gators. I was right on that, by the way, by a point. Yep. They've beaten Alabama by 12. Yeah. Oh, no. I wanted to see St. John's. I knew what they'd done. Give me St. John's. What are the teams here? They lost to Baylor by a point. And
They beat UConn twice. Beat Marquette 3 times.
And beat Creighton twice. So a bunch of mid-pack people. I mean, Marquette's like an 8 seed. What? 9 seed? UConn's an 8 seed.
But all in.
Give me Missouri, dude. Missouri versus Florida.
Listen, what a run this would be for Missouri, going from not even winning an SEC game last year to if yours plays out, the Elite Eight, maybe more if you got them beating Florida. I mean,
I don't.
I did not think you would, but
no, I didn't. No, I can't do that. But man, it would make my heart happy if they could knock off Florida. I'll tell you that right now.
that would make it better for Tennessee.
Yeah, I mean, maybe not. See, this is where I'm scared because I do have 3 SEC teams in the Final Four.
But you've also got 3 1 seeds, and that is a lot more likely than what I had. I had a 2 seed, a 1 seed, a 4 seed, and a 2 seed.
Yeah, but those are, 2 seed is that's okay. A 4 seed, maybe. But depending on who they're playing, like if the 1 seed gets knocked off early, like I think you had in one of your brackets, that's doable. I do have 3 1 seeds and a 2 seed. The 2 seed, I think maybe the reason why is because I think Tennessee is one of the 4 best teams in the nation. I think they honestly had an argument to be a 1 seed. But obviously they're not going to drop Auburn after the regular season that they had. So, what a matchup this would be, man. What a matchup this would be. I think, and I hate to do this as my Tennessee brethren, but I do think they would lose to Duke. So give me Duke over Tennessee. And then Auburn, Florida.
Keep in mind, Florida has beat Auburn earlier this year.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the preview here, you look at Auburn's, boom, they lost by 9 to Florida. I just think Florida is a more complete team. But
Yes.
here's why I'm battling so much. How realistic and how likely is it that the SEC champion goes on a run like this?
I think when you've got a team as complete as Florida does, I think it's really likely. I think you've got an Auburn team that, they've been one of the more dominant teams throughout the college basketball season. Then as of late, is it fatigue? Is it teams figuring out their game plan? Is it, any one of these factors? They haven't played quite as well lately.
Right.
So ultimately, this is your pick here, but in that game there,
I'm trying to think, man. You got Janai Broome, who's borderline unstoppable.
Yeah.
You have Walter Clayton Jr., who's pretty damn good in his own right. Excuse my language.
Here's what I will say. I think Auburn matches up better with Florida than most teams in the country because you got Janai Broome, and then you've got what's his name? Dylan Cardwell as your 2 bigs down low. I think that they can match up well with Alex Condon and whoever else Florida has down low. But I think it's going to come down to guard play, and I think Florida's guard play is better than Auburn's.
I don't like doing the same thing as you, so that's what we're doing. Auburn, Duke.
Well, and this is the rematch people have been talking about all year long because Duke did get Auburn earlier this year. Duke beat Auburn earlier this year.
I think they do it again. So give me Duke over Auburn. I will put the point spread at 163 because I do believe this game is played in the 80s.
Yep.
And you know what? For that matter, I'm actually go 165. I'll go 165. But I think Tennessee makes their first Final Four. I would love for them to beat Duke, but I think at this point they would be completely healthy. And I think the whole battered Vol syndrome, if you want to call it, I feel like Tennessee in years past will do just enough to be better, but then not fully take advantage of that and keep going. So I think Tennessee is going to get, like Rick Barnes, for instance, going to get that pressure off for making the Final Four, and then maybe not even necessarily let up in the Final Four. You're just running across another number 1 seed in Duke. I mean, that's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. And Tennessee's proven that even though they're a great defensive team, if they're not hot every game, they're susceptible to losing. So I like it. And this is it. So I don't know. Do I need to click these 2 boxes here and then submit?
Yeah, you can do that. I took yours off the screen because it does ask for personal information after that. Like if you're trying to go into the sweepstakes, possibly win something. But on the screen here, for those of you that would like to join in and fill out a bracket with us, you do go to fantasy.espn.com, search for the tournament challenge. And then you can go to groups, go to Vol Fanatics tournament group here. As you can see on the screen, search that. Right now, it is me and Skylar in there, but anyone that would like to join can. It is completely free. It's just for fun. You can fill out your bracket any way that you want to. The link is in the YouTube description. It's in the Facebook description, and I will post the link on the social media page this week so that any of you that would like to can fill out a bracket with us. So looking forward to a big March this year. It's gonna be fun to watch.
I'm so excited, bro. This is a fun time of year. Tennessee Vols baseball team's completely undefeated. Softball team won their first series and then swept this weekend. You've got Lady Vols. We'll find out what their seeding is probably like right now, if not in the next hour. And then, man, I'm super excited. It's gonna be a fun next week or two. It's gonna be a fun next 3 weeks, hopefully.
I hope that it's 3 weeks. That'd be awesome because that does mean that you've made the program's first Final
Four, which we both have. I did not expect you to go there.
So I'll be totally honest. If we are to face Kentucky in the Sweet 16, I think Tennessee goes home in the Sweet 16.
No way Kentucky sweeps us, bro. That would suck.
Look, that would absolutely suck. But
suck so much. That's why it would happen, though.
Exactly. And that's exactly why I'm putting on the orange glasses. I put Illinois over Kentucky. I like the matchup better for Tennessee. I want Tennessee to go to the Final Four. I think they've got the team to do it.
I think Kentucky, too, would probably overlook a team like Illinois or something like that because they're wanting to play Tennessee again. Right? That would almost give them a little bit of confidence. Like, man, if we could just get to Tennessee, like we know we beat them twice this year, we'll be all right. And then they completely overlook the competition. And I mean, I think I agree with you. I think for my liking, I would like to get revenge when it matters. And that's where I'm kind of at peace with my picks. So,
yeah, I will say this. It's tough to beat a team 3 times in the same season. So in that case, I think that Tennessee has an advantage, but man, the way that they've played against Florida or against Kentucky this year, that makes me nervous. I don't want to face them again. So.
100%. Anything in closing before we wrap it up, man?
No, just looking forward to big week this week. As who does baseball and softball have this weekend?
Oh shoot, you put me on the spot, and I ain't even ready for that.
I'm not ready either. But we know that Tennessee basketball and Lady Vols basketball will be playing this weekend. Obviously, Tennessee men playing Wofford on I didn't even look. I think that's Thursday whenever they play. It'll either be Thursday and then Saturday or Friday and Sunday when Tennessee plays. Matt Stone joining in here at the end. Go Vols, baby. Absolutely.
Dang right.
And then the Lady Vols will either play Friday and Sunday or Saturday and Monday. Obviously, got to get past their opening round game.
Yeah, so I've got the schedule right here, and it looks like we are playing ETSU as the midweek, Tuesday, 5 p.m. Eastern. And then it is a series against Alabama at Alabama. So we're going on the road, but this is a Thursday through Saturday series. So Thursday, 7:30, Friday, 7, and then Saturday at 2 p.m. And it does look like the Thursday night game will be on ESPNU. Surprise, considering the basketball going on. So Thursday night will be available to watch if you have ESPNU. and then the Friday, Saturday matchups will be on ESPN Plus.
Well,
And
I think the reason you're going to start seeing baseball and stuff on ESPNU is, all of the NCAA tournament games are going to be on CBS, TBS, TNT, those stations right there. They
Right.
don't only have the March Madness games.
100%, and you're 100% right. Now, as far as the Lady Vols softball goes,
Let's see, Eastern Kentucky on Tuesday. All right, so the midweek
you pulled it
classic.
up. I got you.
Yeah, the midweek classic is this week. So Eastern Kentucky on Tuesday. That game is going to be at Ridley Park in Columbia,
Tennessee.
Yeah, for the midweek classic. Hopefully this year it doesn't get rained out. I believe the last 2 years it's gotten rained out. So Eastern Kentucky on Tuesday, and then so this is a Saturday, Sunday, Monday series against Arkansas. That will be at Sherry Parker Lee this weekend. So that is the Vols and Lady Vols softball and baseball this weekend. And, as mentioned, Tennessee basketball plays Wofford, and Tennessee Lady Vols, they are yet to be determined. I think the selection show starts in about 5 minutes. So you can check out the women's selection show.
You know where Tennessee and Wofford are playing?
Is it in Lexington?
Rupp Arena.
Please don't tell me that we're getting a Wofford upset over Tennessee.
How is that? How is that possible? Is Rupp not Kentucky's court?
It is.
How are they hosting?
So they're not actually getting to play there. Tennessee and I believe UCLA are getting to play there.
It's UCLA, Utah, and then Tennessee, Wofford, Utah State. So okay, so it's just a host site.
Yes.
It won't have Kentucky's logo on it, will it? They probably will, won't it?
I would say that they would probably put the NCAA logo and everything. I'd
hope so.
I'm not certain on that.
Bruh, if we haven't, okay. No, that's fine.
If we're playing with Kentucky's logo, then we're getting beat by Wofford. Just saying.
No, we're not, bro. Calm down.
Battered ball syndrome. We're getting beat if Kentucky's logo is on that court.
You need to go eat some food. That's what you need to do. All right. No,
that's exactly what I need to do. I need Snickers, man.
That's right. That's right. No, y'all take it easy. Follow it up, man. Seriously, click the link, join the bracketology, whatnot. Have some fun with us, and we'll follow up next week. Hopefully, after a couple wins.
Yep, absolutely. Go Big Orange, guys.